Okay, so imagine that you're waking up in the morning. You're waking up in the morning to go to work after a really good night's sleep. You went to bed pretty early, and you're refreshed. You're ready to go for the day. You wake up, you stretch, you go to the window, you whip open the blinds, and it looks like it's midnight. What would be the first thing you do? You go and you'd probably go check your clock to make sure that didn't get up too early. You'd be excited that maybe you had a couple more hours of sleep and a couple more hours in your comfy bed, but not so. You actually did get up at the right time. That's what it's like living in Alaska. Disappointment everywhere. Alaska is one of the worst places to live, and I can tell you I've lived there my whole life. Really, a few of the reasons is due to the lack of real season changes, the distance from the United States, and just the lack of care from the community. The seasons there are not really seasons at all. There are two seasons. There's winter and construction. In the summer, that's the only real time that it's comfortable enough and there's enough cleared snow for them to do construction. So, if you want to get anywhere quickly, that's really not possible any time of the year. Because in the summer, everyone's working on the roads, and in the winter time, the roads are covered in ice and snow. The ice and snow actually covers a lot of trash and dirt. So after the snow kind of melts, the elementary schools have contests to see who can pick up the most trash from around the city of Anchorage, where I grew up. And you would be surprised at how much trash we have. It's ridiculous. The winters also bring a lot of depression, a lot of seasonal depression. I am a victim of seasonal depression. I actually do have to take vitamin D supplements in order to keep my vitamin D up because of the lack of vitamin D I get during the winter time. Plus, it's just freezing. It's cold. I know that Rexburg's not that much different, but it's pretty freezing. The next thing is that Alaska's far from the United States. Flying issues, you have to fly everywhere. Flying is expensive. You can't just drive one state over to go to your grandma's house. You have to get on a plane or you have to take a drive for several days. And that leads to shipping problems because I feel like a lot of places don't realize that Alaska is actually part of the United States. The reason I say that is because when you go to buy something, when you go to purchase, say, a pair of pants from a local store in Chicago, they're going to charge you a lot, about half of really what the product is worth for just shipping. And it's no fault of theirs, it's just Alaska's far away. And even though you get a PFD every year for living there, for being a resident, which is roughly around $1,000, you need that. You need that to live. Because if you do a comparison, I actually compared on a website, expatient.com /cost of living, and to rent a condo in Boise, Idaho, we'll just use Idaho as a jumping off point. That is about 900 square feet it's about the same price of rent as renting a about 450 square foot unfurnished studio apartment, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's too expensive. Also, from being far away, we don't have any pro sports teams, so a lot of the folks around in Alaska go for the Seahawks, because that's the closest we can get. The last thing is the community just doesn't care very much about anything. On the Anchorage Daily News website, actually, they had a story about how Alaska is rated number 1 worst dressed in the United States. I'm wearing sweats right now. I'm wearing sweatpants, sweatshirt. This is regular attire at one of the nicest restaurants in town. Whereas in other places, restaurants would have a dress code. Or at least, no shoes, no shirt, no service kind of a thing. But Alaskans just don't care that much. In addition, Alaska is number 2 in the highest pornography rate in the whole United States, right behind Utah, which I found on the Consumerist. And it's just people don't care as much about their community, which a lot of people may say, it's still beautiful, it's still a beautiful place to live, and it's not the worst place to grow up. But in choosing a place to live for the rest of your life, it might not be your first choice. But hey, at least you can see Russia from your house.